Ladies and gentlemen, coming to the stage is MIKEKINGBIZ, the voice of RVA business media. At MIKEKINGBIZ, we celebrate the idea that business makes society better. On behalf of the whole MIKEKINGBIZ ecosystem, we say a big thank you.
Phenomenal day, everyone. Phenomenal day, phenomenal day, phenomenal day. Welcome back. I'm super excited about this activation series. If you haven't caught on, my excitement is real because so many people that I come in contact with are, dealing with their becoming. They have, they're happy with their life. They're happy with the way things are going, but there's this something that they're dealing with that they're not like sad, but it's an adjustment. And a lot of that adjustment is their becoming. They are transitioning from one space they were in into their next space. And there is, a little grieving process with that. There's a process of stepping into this own unknown space. And that's what this activation series is all about. If I could tell you the number of times just in the past 2 days, I've had to tell people, like, go check out the radio show, because what you're describing, what you're going through is your becoming. You've had to clear out the noise, whether it be internal or external. You've had to release things that no longer belong to you. Let the baggage go. Stop taking on stuff that's not yours. All the things. You've had to learn to say yes to you, and in saying yes to you, it's absolutely okay to say no to things that do not align with you. That is absolutely okay. You've had to understand that releasing and purging isn't a loss, it isn't punishment, but it is preparation. It is preparation for where you're headed, what's coming next, and the things that are required of you. So in this activation series, we clear the noise, we release things. We broke up with our old self, and we had to leave it there. We were in a bridge moment from clearing it to claiming it. We had to start believing ourselves again, because in the process of surviving, in the process of letting go of our old self, you might be going through trust issues. So we had to learn how to trust ourselves again. And this week, we're talking about the fact that life requires your participation. You are not on the sidelines in your life. It definitely requires your participation. So the theme is from thinking to doing. Let's go ahead and jump right in. Welcome to Journey with Jay, the space where intention, clarity, and personal growth. Okay, it's supposed to meet. We be having technical issues sometimes. New system. I apologize, but I got y'all. Welcome to Journey with Jay, the space where intention, clarity, and personal growth meet. I'm your host, Jay, and this is your reminder that life isn't just about doing more, it's about becoming more aligned. Each week, we pause the noise to have real conversations about healing, purpose, boundaries, faith, rest, relationships, and what it truly means to live on purpose in every season. This is a space for reflection, realignment, and reclaiming your power without guilt and without apology. Whether you're navigating transition, rebuilding after burnout, or simply learning how to choose yourself again, you are in the right place at the right time. Take a breath, settle in, and open your heart. This is Journey with Jay, where intention meets transformation. Let's begin. Welcome, 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 beautiful people, to Journey with Jay, where we heal, we grow, evolve, and activate the next version of ourselves. I'm your host, Jay, and I'm super excited because a lot of people are in transition. And today's conversation is not just going to inspire you, it's going to challenge you to move, to activate, to participate in your own life, to go from the concept of thinking to actually doing. That is the goal of this episode of the activation series. So, as I shared briefly in the pre-opening, a lot of people are going through transition. There's a lot of changes happening around us. There's a lot of anxiety for some people, insecurity. There is a lot of undefined moments, and people are having to manage through. And in that process, what I don't want anybody to do is to slip back into survival mode. We got to keep thriving with intentional energy and doing all the things, i.e. this activation series. And today's episode is simply called, Your Life Requires Your Participation. You can't be on the sideline just watching it happen. You can't be like it is when you are watching a TV show or movie and you're just watching. You have to actively participate in all things your life. And I need somebody to really hear this today, because your healing requires your participation. Your growth requires your participation. Your peace, if you are struggling with that, that requires your participation. Your goals require your participation. You can't just create them and think that they're going to magically occur or manifest on their own. Your next level requires your participation. Everything in your life requires your participation. It's not just your hopes. It's not just your intentions. It's not just creating the vision board and hanging it up and thinking that's enough. It's not just creating it. You actually have to participate and activate it. Participation can be difficult for some, because it's that space where you're no longer just thinking about what you want to achieve. You got to do it. You got to execute. You have to make moves, because too many people are waiting for life to magically just change, or the buzzword of manifestation. And as you know, if you've been following along and you are part of the art of manifesting and becoming, manifesting anything requires you to do work. It requires action. It requires movement. It requires participation. So expecting change while refusing to change puts you in a space where you're going to continue being on a hamster wheel. See, unfortunately, too many people are out here waiting for motivation, or you're waiting for confidence, or you're waiting for the perfect time, or you're waiting for certainty and no longer questioning yourself, or even worse, you're waiting for someone else to validate you when you are your validation. Everything that you have thought of, dreamed of, or envisioning, it is yours. It doesn't require anyone to justify it for you. You've got this. Joe, can you please let me know if you can hear me by throwing some hearts up, please? I appreciate you. And while you're waiting, life is passing you by, because life doesn't stop moving. So, put on your adulting hat, put on your adulting outfit, strap in, and get ready for this activation, because your life requires your participation. Some people are sitting on dreams that were supposed to be activated years ago. Some people are sitting on dreams that were supposed to be activated years ago. There's someone actually waiting for your business. There's someone waiting for your book. There's someone waiting to hear your healing journey. Like, your story is going to make the difference for them to get to where they need to go. Somebody is waiting on you. Somebody is waiting on your creative gifts, your energy, your opportunity. Like, someone is waiting for your business to launch because they are the person you need to be your chief operating officer. They are your CFO in the making. But they can't launch because you haven't launched. When you start thinking like that, doesn't that change your energy level to be like, what am I waiting for? Someone is waiting on your purpose. Like, your purpose is going to shift atmospheres, change rooms. It's going to be the dynamic that is needed in today. And the hardest truth is this. Sometimes the only thing standing between us and the life we want is our own unwillingness to participate. We just think it's supposed to happen. We just think it's just supposed to occur. But all great things require energy and require work. Even when, you're growing a baby inside you, especially for my women out there, movement becomes uncomfortable. That stretching that occurs becomes uncomfortable. And for the men, when you are working on, say, you want to strengthen and have more muscle, more definition, working out it's not a blissful thing. Let's be real about it, right? So after I finish the radio show, I'm going to do body pump. And let me tell you, when I'm lifting those weights and I'm using that bar, I am not smiling. It is work. You have to work for what you want, because I want to define some things. And in order to define some things and enhance things, I've got to stretch. I've got to stretch muscles. When a woman is growing a baby inside of her, her organs have to shift. There's a stretch that has to occur, because growth requires stretching. Growth requires movement. And oftentimes, healing exposes you. So sometimes, instead of allowing space to heal and avoid the uncomfortable situation, we just pretend like it didn't happen, or pretend like it's not as important. But let me tell you something. Healing exposes you because it exposes the things in you that you need to develop better, that you need to grow in, that you need to stretch in, where you have forgiven others, but maybe you haven't forgiven self. Life requires participation. And action requires vulnerability. See, some people run from the growth and run from the healing because they're afraid to be vulnerable. But let me tell you something. There's no better person to be vulnerable with besides yourself. Because your becoming can't become if you don't know who you are. The good, the not so great, the beautiful, the moments that were ugly in your life, all the things. And understand that you have to choose to take the parts of your life that could have broken you and use them for your good. You have to choose to decide that I won't be broken, I will be healed, and I will use that space, that moment, that thing that occurred in my life to help someone else heal. So I'm a part of the hashtag #MeToo movement. I am. And I could have easily let that break me, especially because my hashtag #MeToo moment happened at a very young age. But I refuse to let it break me. I'm a part of the widow community. Switching over from being a married woman with children to a widowed woman with children and now single mother, I could have allowed that to break me. But I took everything that has been. I have chosen to consistently evolve. Please let me know if you can hear me, because someone just tried to call me. I want to make sure the sound didn't mess up. I have consistently chosen to evolve, to participate in my life, and to choose to grow, to stretch, and to heal. And you can too. So today, we're talking about your life requiring your participation. And we're going to confront the habits that are standing in the way. And we're going to pray for your movement to occur. And this is how. So today we're going to talk about why waiting keeps you stuck, how action creates clarity, breaking the cycles of procrastination, and showing up before you absolutely feel ready to show up, and why your future responds to movement. Thank you, Erica. I appreciate that. So I want you to settle in. And this is a moment. Go grab a journal. Go, take some deep breaths before we begin. If you're driving, you might want to pull over into a parking lot so you can really settle into this. Always have the opportunity to hashtag replay and revisit. And let's do this work. because your life requires your participation and somebody is waiting on you. So, waiting keeps you stuck. One of the most dangerous phrases in this world is, I'll do it when, maybe next week. I'll do it when I feel ready. I'll do it when I have more money. I'll do it when I'm less afraid. Those are such dangerous statements. Stop with the I'll do it whens. Do it now. Do it today. As I spoke about last week, put you on your schedule. Schedule out the things you need to do and do it. Because eventually the question becomes, how many days, weeks, months, years, decades, yes, I said decades, have gone by with you saying, I'll do it when? See, you have everything in you need. So stop convincing yourself that I'm researching, I'm planning, I'm thinking it through, I'm making sure everything is perfect before I start. Stop. Because oftentimes, anything that needs to be shifted, redrafted, reworked, that doesn't come in the thinking. It comes in the doing. So stop overthinking, rethinking it, processing it, questioning yourself. Because last week, we regained that concept of believing in ourselves. So let's believe in ourselves and start doing. See, meanwhile will never occur if you never move. Some people have truly mastered this concept of preparation in their attempt to avoid participation. And I want you to hear me clearly. Yes, preparation matters. Yes, don't just jump out here willy-nilly, quit your job and say, I'm going to start a business and you don't have no money coming in. No, because wisdom matters too. Strategy is also key. But eventually, preparation must turn into participation, i.e. movement, activation, and execution. If you forever stay in preparation mode, for example, the baby never comes out, or you keep creating the plan for the gym, but you don't ever walk in the gym, no muscles are coming. Or I have written out a dynamic business plan. I have the operation model. I even have my people plan. Like I know who needs to do what. I've created an SOP, a OPP, a XOP, a TOP, all the things. But you never actually start, i.e. launch the business. All you got is a bunch of papers, a vision board, a thought. That's it. You have to, at some point, decide to launch that thing. Whether it be a business, whether it be working out, whether it be starting a family, whatever it is, at some point, you got to launch. At some point, you have to submit the application, start the conversation, take the class, empower yourself through the journey, create the content, go to therapy, yes, I said it, set a boundary to increase your peace and to have control over your environment. And catch this, at some point, you have to believe you're worthy enough to try. At some point, you have to believe that you are worthy enough to try. Because waiting too long creates stagnation. And stagnation drains your confidence. We talked about that last week. You don't want to keep draining your confidence. We are in a space of building ourselves up, building back our trust, and that happens through the action. It happens through the action. Don't allow your dream to become intimidating to you. It's your dream. If you're dreaming about it, if you're being given this thing to work on, this passion, this purpose, then it's yours. Own that thing. Believe in it and trust you. If you keep procrastinating, the goals will become overwhelming. Because it just gives more space for you to question if you can, instead of knowing that you can, because you can. But because delay only fuels fear, I need you to walk in your faith, in your fearlessness, and in your purpose. And I'll give you a true example. Journey with Jay could have started years ago. We're coming up on 3 years in August, but we could be coming up on 6. But I allowed my own fear, my own questioning myself, to get in the way. Now, I'll be completely honest with you. I could justify it, right? So my justification could be I had just became a widow. I was focusing in on my children who needed me. My justification could be we were in the middle of a pandemic and money was tight, so how do you launch something? You could justify a lot of things. But one thing for sure is, as I told you, somebody's waiting on you to launch for their ability to move and what they're supposed to do next. Somebody was waiting on my launch, on their ability to do what they're supposed to do next. Which is why I take this radio thing, podcast, whatever you want to call it, I take it very seriously, because I don't just get on here and talk to you. I plan. I map out what needs to happen. I pray on it and ask God, what does the messaging need to be? And then I execute. I don't get caught up in it. I move on everything with intention. And it's my goal to do that because I don't want to be holding anyone else up. And more importantly, I don't want to hold up Jawanda. I don't want to hold up my journey with Jay by any means. So stop allowing the dream to become intimidating. Stop allowing goals to become overwhelming. And take the next steps and feel empowered to do exactly what's already in you to do. And the rest that you need will come in the process. See, fear loves inactivity because fear feels like I've got you stuck. I've got you exactly where I need you in my grip. You're not moving and you're not doing anything. Because fear thrives on you overthinking. It thrives on that hesitation. It thrives on having you in that chokehold where you're shrinking, dimming your light, and closing your mouth. And fear will only get louder in that space. But when you move, when you activate, when you execute in excellence, fear goes running. I want you to think of that Mucinex commercial. You know, the little green gob. He's sitting there. He moving in. Got all his stuff packed up, setting up his tent, doing all the things. See, that's fear when you're sitting still. It's real comfortable. It's laid back, all up in your head, occupying space, taking over in your conscious, your subconscious, and your unconscious. It's just ruling things. But see what happens when all of a sudden you pick up a pen and you start writing out the plan, and then you create your vision board, and then you don't just create it, but you start taking steps, because you look at the goal and you say, okay, this is the action steps of what I need to do to complete that goal. And then you're not just writing it and looking at it, but then you take that first step, and it might be a little shaky, but you took the step. And the first attempt may be a little messy, but at least you moved. And then that first move, that first time you lift the weight, it might be a little uncomfortable, and you might be shaky, like I said, and you might look messy. But what happens is that movement, it breaks the paralysis. And remember the little Mucinex man? See, when that Mucinex box shows up and that plan shows up and you begin to move, what does the Mucinex man do? He move a little bit. Then you start, in the commercial, you start sneezing, right? Because you're breaking up all that mucus and stuff. And what happens is, eventually he's got to pack up the stuff and go. See, when you start making the plan and acting on the plan, participating in your own life, and executing in excellence, fear can't do anything but be driven out. Those doubts can't do anything but start going away. The things, the noise you had to clear out, whether it be internal, external, they got to get out the way. All that stuff will grow and put you in a space of readiness, because once you start moving, fear has to be released. Paralysis is gone, and you will build your confidence through your participation in your life. So in those moments when you're finding yourself stuck, I want you to think of that Mucinex glob, okay? Then I want you to think of action being the Mucinex. Put that Mucinex glob out of business. Create action and all the things you need to do, which is going to expand your confidence, release the fear, and release the paralysis, and do this. Kick them out. Just like Mucinex does to that Mucinex glob. Kick out the fear, kick out the doubt, kick out all the things that are distracting you from doing and activating and participating in your life. And when you do that, additional clarity will come, additional confidence will come, and then you'll be in a space to show up and show out. One of the greatest lessons life teaches is this. Action creates clarity. Action creates clarity. See, it's in doing stuff that you realize what needs to be adjusted, you realize what needs to change, or realize what needs to be let go. But you're not going to know if you're stuck in paralysis. Most people think that full clarity comes first in the thinking process. Yes, you must be still. You must remove noise to gain clarity. But the continuation of creating the clarity comes in the action. Do not get stuck in the thinking. You got to move to the doing. That is participating in your life. Oftentimes, true clarity becomes after the movement. Because you don't know it doesn't work if you don't do it. For example, we'll go to the gym again. I don't know that I'm lifting the dumbbell wrong or holding the bar in the wrong section if I don't go and move. Because in the movement, then I can be directed to say, oh, if you're working on your chest, you should be holding the bar way out here, not on the inside. But if all I'm doing is thinking about it and not doing it, I don't know that that's happening, right? I don't know that there's a problem in my execution. So understand, additional clarity comes after the movement. So I need you guys to move, not be in endless thinking.
This is the night that 10 years, 15, 20 years, you're going to be looking back and saying, I was here. There's an inflection point happening in technology. We get to lead it, and we get to lead it right here in Richmond.
We must prepare existing worker, students, and communities to be able to use AI so that no one is left behind.
The real story isn't AI itself. The real story is what AI makes possible. AI is the new keyboard. It's the new mouse. It's not the answer, it's the instrument. And the more people we hand that instrument to, the more possibilities we turn into realities.
People want to be together when you're making a difference. How can we make Richmond, make the region, and in part, all of Virginia, the most AI ready? A lot of people ask me, do we just want to be the Silicon Valley of the East Coast? The quote everybody keeps on having me re-ask is no. My mission is for Silicon Valley to be the Richmond of the West Coast.
Are we really doing this?
It's your call.
Call Federal Credit Union, your best call for mortgages.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. On the mic, Mike, got my man Mark Bowen in the building. Mr. B, how are you?
I'm doing well, Mike.
Alrighty, so tell us who you are, what you do.
Well, my name is Mark Bowen. I manage Westchester Commons out on the corner of Route 60, which is Midlothian Turnpike, and 288. Just look for the Target and Regal right along the interstate, and you'll know you're at the right spot.
So I went out to your location the other day. I was going to try a new restaurant. I ended up at Brick House.
Always fall back on.
Always fall back because you have something there, eatery-wise, for everyone.
A little bit of everything, and still more to come.
More to come?
More to come. Well, we've talked about the gelato place, and
are they ready?
Real close.
We're close.
I walked right in the door the other day, and it looked ready. They were waiting on one refrigeration unit.
Okay.
And then we have another another eatery, another restaurant that is not at Westchester. The category is not at Westchester, but it is in Richmond, and it's an established restaurateur. So
be ready for that.
Yes. So we have 2 more eateries coming. That will give us a total of 21 out of 61 merchants.
21 out of 61.
Pretty heavy concentration.
That is a heavy, and it is something along the line for everyone.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, something for kids, something for every taste genre that's out there, whether it's seafood or steak or chicken or vegetarian. There is something for everybody.
And soon to be gelato.
Soon to be gelato.
There you go. Alrighty, Mark Bowen, you're always here with some great news. You even have the new high-tech note-taking gizmo. You are here with that. What do we have going on this week?
Well, it is kickoff week. It is kickoff week for the Westchester Concert Series. And it is happening today, since this airs on Thursday. And so it'll be May 28th with the English Channel. They're celebrating 25 years this year, the best of British rock. And they pride themselves on playing it just like you heard it on the radio. So it's no extra fluff. It is when you hear them play Bohemian Rhapsody, which is a very difficult song to perform, you'll hear it exactly like Freddie Mercury and Queen did it on the radio. Or anything from David Bowie or the Byrds, or anything from the British Invasion, even Beatles, any of those. So it sounds exactly like you hear it on the radio.
And what time does that start this evening?
It is at 5:30. It goes from 5:30 to 8:30, like we have it on every respective Thursdays on Main Street at the Main Street stage. Look for the big white tent over the band. It's up and ready for you to identify that you're in the right spot. And it also benefits a local charity. And the first one is the Rotary Club of Powhatan. So each week we have a charity that is tied to their respective concert, and they take all the money from beer and wine sales and donations and anything they can do to raise funds, whether selling waters or any merchandise. All that money would go to them.
And that's why we have Mr. Don Smith in last week or so.
Last week. Yep.
Talking about, it's the Rotary Club, which is a nonprofit, but they support nonprofits.
It's an interesting scenario, but it's kind of like you pass it on.
And that's what this does. So, and explain once again why it's important that Westchester Commons does this.
Well, initially when we started this 11 years ago, it is what we in the marketing world known as experiential marketing. It enhances your shopping experience. And while that's still the case, we added on the charity element. And that now shows our customers that we support those organizations that do good immediately in our community, and supports those that do good for them as well. So it's kind of secular, and it shows those customers that they can be part of an organization they may or may not even know about. So a charity can stay with us for up to 5 years, gives them an opportunity to tell their story several times to an audience that they may or may not get in front of that often. So, the first one is the Rotary Club of Powhatan.
And that is the English Channel.
That is the English Channel. And like I said, they're celebrating 25 years this year. And a band together for 25 years is still pretty tremendous. And we have a band that's been together 52 years.
Yeah, you have those bands that are together that have staying power.
And good staying power. They're not just old guys up on the stage playing a banjo or something, but but I mean, like the Kings of Swing, better known these days as KOS. Been together 52 years. originated as a swing band in the shadow of the Eiffel Tower at King's Dominion 52 years ago.
And they come to Westchester Commons and turn it out.
Oh yeah, it's not just...
That's a madhouse.
Yeah, it's not swing music, but that they usually draw one of our biggest crowds.
There you go. And so that, ladies and gentlemen, today at Westchester Commons is the English Channel.
Yes.
Benefiting the Rotary Club of Powhatan.
Yes, and all of this is presented by The Edge at Westchester by Stylecraft, also supported by Brown Distributing, James River Cellars, Brickhouse Diner, and our friends at Mix 98.1.
There you go.
And then we're every other Thursday, coming up June 11th, benefiting Boys to Men Mentoring. It's the mashup with Cozy Condition. And then on June 25th, it's Soul Expressions Band supporting CFIT. And we'll have those organizations on the show. In fact, next week we'll have Boys to Men Mentoring. So,
the guys from Philly?
I'm not sure exactly who's going to come in, Warren or Steve.
Not the Boys to Men. You missed that one.
Yeah, and now I got it. All right, we've gone
to the end of the road.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've reached the end of the road with this foolishness. Mike King, Mark Bowen is here. It's a serious topic. And so when people get introduced to the music series, they're excited. I know my friend Stephanie Becker was like, wow, just to get on the radar because you understand how important as a nonprofit this is. Touch on the idea of being a fundraiser, that you have to be in front of people for people to become your friend.
Oh, well, I mean, it's just like any organization or anyone that even advertises. You have to touch your people up to 7 times before they do something, before they take an action. And with nonprofits, it's tougher because you're asking them for something, for time, talents, or treasures. Every time they open their mouth, or you see their logo, or you see their advertisement, you see their event, and so the more times that organization can get in front of a prospect, and in this case it's a prospective donor or a volunteer or a friend, we tell our nonprofits to look at this as not only a fundraiser but as a friend raiser, and it really gives them a different mindset and tries to touch their prospective volunteers, donors, or friends. So that and when we choose our charities, we don't look for the big guys. The little guys are the ones that need that, not only that funding, but also that attention that gets more people to their doorstep.
How can people get information about Westchester Commons?
You can always go to our website at shopwestchestercommons.com. Also follow us on Facebook and Instagram, and we're usually there, and I'll be live this afternoon on all of that.
On all of that. All right, so we got to circle back and talk about the potato that came to the market. Sir, can we get an official wrap-up on what happened, the shenanigans that happened out of Westchester Commons?
It was a great event, and it was a big potato. I know I sent you some pictures.
Yes.
And so we had about a 4-ton potato. Found out some interesting things about Idaho potatoes. And here's a new one. Here's one that you may or may not know.
I'm sure I didn't.
Originally, when this Idaho potato tour started out, they had a potato made out of concrete. That seems like a really heavy potato, just to show it off. And of course, I mean, they were giving out swag and stickers and even boxes of Idaho potatoes, the freeze-dried potatoes. But that potato is now in Boise, Idaho. It's one of the most popular Airbnbs that you can stay at. It's booked over 300 days a year. And so you can stay in a potato. And believe it or not, even though potatoes have eyes, that potato has no windows. So you might feel, if you're claustrophobic,
don't go to that. Do not stay at that potato.
But it was a fun time, a steady flow of people finding out all about potatoes, raising some funds for communities and schools, Chesterfield. Anytime they signed the board, they would give $1 to an organization.
Oh, really? I missed that part.
It was CIS Chesterfield, and so Ashley Hall came out and graciously accepted her donation from the Idaho Potato Commission. So it was pretty cool.
So this is a business show. Touch on what that did for like a McAllister's.
Well, I mean,
And the mall, period.
It's cool. Jonathan Rudy was there, and he has a PR company.
Yes, him and his wife are the PR couple.
And the funny thing about Jonathan is, and he had forgotten about this, but I remember it. Years ago, he was the driver of the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile.
I could see that.
And not only that was, so they had the cool issue of Rolling Stone magazine, and they had the coolest summer job. It had a picture of Jonathan Rudy standing in front of the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile. Until the other day, he had forgotten about it, which was pretty fascinating that I knew about it and he had forgotten about it. But these mobile marketing units that I've worked with, the NBA Jam Van, I've worked with the Major League Baseball Roadshow, of course, just like the Clydesdales from Anheuser-Busch, they get attention. And anytime you don't see something, well, anytime you see something you don't normally see, you'll come out and check it out because people had to come and see this potato.
Yes.
So I pulled in one of our merchants, McAllister's Deli, in to sell potatoes because they're the only ones that focus on the spuds. And we did an offer, and they were hopping with potatoes. It was a packed house, and because we put the focus on those potatoes on their menu, and came close to selling out. They had to get out and get some more potatoes from another location. So
that's when it's a good day, when they went for reinforcements.
But it was all about the draw. It's all about getting people to see something that they don't normally see, and then they'll stay and get something to eat or shop or go to the movies or do whatever. But it gives people, again, it's just like the concert series. It enhances their shopping experience. And I will always be on the lookout for those odd things that you don't see every day.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is P.T. Barnum. Oh, no, excuse me, Mark Bowen. That is Mark Bowen with the update from Westchester Commons. So later today, it will be the English Channel on Main Street at Westchester Commons.
Yes.
5 o'clock, correct?
5:30.
5:30. But you better get there because you need to, if you want to be
there by 5 o'clock.
That's right.
It's going to be a big house. It's going to be a packed house.
It's going to be a bunch of people out there, all for the good of the Rotary Club of Powhatan and our good friends there doing amazing work. All right, folks, the man has to go. He has to attend. He is the Lord of Westchester Commons. He has a lot of great things happening. We'll talk to you soon.
Bryant and Stratton College has been making an impact for over 170 years. I'm so excited that our new location puts us closer to employers, makes us more accessible, and allows us to design a campus that is student-centered and meets the needs of our employer partners.
So the question is around location and how this happened. It was a result of a great deal of planning and forethought. It was a result of trying to decide what was the right location for some sort of facility like this. And so when Brian Stratton expressed interest, I was in full support. This location means a lot. It's near Chippenham Hospital, it's near Powhite Expressway, and it is also near Chippenham. So this location is about as perfect as you can get for a college like Brian Stratton.
Accessibility is so important to us. We want to ensure that our students, our staff, our faculty, and our employers can get to us. I'm so excited. This is the first time that we've ever been on a bus route. So our students won't have to address that hurdle on top of all of the other things that they're balancing.
It means something to the people of Chesterfield County, especially with the branding of Chesterfield here. You know, I like to always say Virginia State University is the University of Chesterfield. Brian Stratton is the College of Chesterfield, and it's just a perfect pairing. You know, they're closer being here to where the most students in the region go to, that we try and train and prepare for careers, but Brian and Stratton can definitely take them to the next step.
Moving our campus was a tough decision. We've been on Hall Street for over 30 years. But relocating to Gateway off of Midlothian Turnpike really cements our future. We are investing in our Chesterfield-Richmond community as well as our students.
It is so important to have Brian Stratton in our community. You have an opportunity as a student to be able to learn and to grow and to become. I mean, when it comes right down to it, have you lived a life to its fullest blossoming? And what Brian Stratton is able to do is create that opportunity so you live your life to fullest blossoming and greatest good.
It's nice here. Richmond's beautiful. And so we're on Facebook Live. And we're live with you.
On Facebook.
Oh, you on Facebook too?
I'm on Facebook.
Oh, we live.
We live. We are. Okay, let's do this. Yes, we're doing this.
In a world where quality business information is needed, we bring you On the Mic with Mike, the leading social enterprise business show in RVA. Join Mike King, the partnership guru, as he delivers game changers in Metro RVA. On the Mic with Mike showcases how business can help make society better. He discusses tech, culture, innovation, best business practices, and highlighting area nonprofits. Join Mike Monday through Friday, because it is the place where the best and brightest come to chat.
I enjoy listening to On the Mic with Mike every day. That's what I do.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to On the Mic with Mike. Mike King here. This is part of the MIKEKINGBIZ Media Network, ESPN Richmond 106.1, International Business Growth Radio, Saturdays 10 a.m. Eastern, as well as CW Richmond TV. What we do is we showcase and highlight business and people doing business in a different way. Alrighty, so you can follow me on all social platforms, On the Mic, Mike RVA, as well as MIKEKINGBIZ. Alrighty, so we got a giant in the tech world in the building with us. Alrighty, Laticia, welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me.
Alrighty, so it is a business show, so tell folks who you are and what you do.
Hey everybody, I'm so happy to be here. Thank you again, Mike, for having me. My name is Laticia Carrow. I am a 2023 IBM champion, and I specialize in mainframe computers. Ooh.
Yes. I wasn't even going to go there. Yes. Alrighty, so explain to us who are out there what exactly that is. So, because I know you from your podcast is the Tish Talks. Tish Talks Tech.
Tish Talks Tech. So Tish Talks Tech is my way of giving back to the mainframe community, my way of giving back to tech, the tech space, period. So what happens is this. We have a day and age right now, a day and age right now where people are outside getting paid, making transactions, sitting up, having whole jobs, okay, from wherever you are in the world, and have no idea that they are using technology. I know that sounds fundamentally remedial, but it's the truth. We are on right now, we're utilizing Facebook, we are utilizing the internet, we have our phones, hey Facebook family, and we are just doing like this entire entire ecosystem. We're utilizing it. And if you don't understand that, you're either not paying attention or you're asleep.
A lot of times people are asleep at the wheel. We are, because we don't really think about, like you said, what it takes to get from where we are to beaming this signal around the world.
That's it.
That no matter, the world is not a very big place when we start connecting the dots, especially from an IT side.
That's it. That's it. And so what I do with Tish Talks Tech, it's so cool. I get to speak to technology heroes every Sunday at 12 o'clock on my YouTube channel. So like last Sunday, I got to speak to Carl Eric Stenfers. Carl Eric wrote or co-authored most of the IBM Red books that we have in circulation today. And he's been on the platform since like 1965. So if you're out here and you don't understand what a mainframe is, I'm just gonna be like real basic. So
please, yes, be very basic for me.
Do you know what a bank is?
Yes.
Do you have an ATM card?
Yes.
Do you swipe it?
Yes.
There you go. That's a mainframe transaction. Do you have I don't know, a bank account where you actually balance a checkbook? That would be something that you would interact with on a mainframe. That's a transaction. That's transactional data. Anytime that you log into Facebook, anytime that you decide that you are going to turn on a radio, or that you are going to pump your gas, anything that has to deal with being alive and well and kicking. Anytime that you go to your doctor's office and you have to have your charts up, right? That's a part of a database. That database is more than likely connected to a larger database that is running on a mainframe. It's connected somewhere. So yeah, so, technology, it's not all inclusive, and yet it's not something that we have to say, well, you can't learn it. There's plenty of job opportunity. There's a lot of ways to actually learn. The space is very big. We were talking before about having visual horizons. It's not.
I was getting ready to go there with you.
Yeah,
because a lot of times we don't know what we don't know, and then all of a sudden there's an opportunity there. And I had said that somebody told me that technology was a lot of times lowered barriers, and that's when you dropped that on me. So what exactly is it again?
So we have this in my space. We have this thing where sometimes people have these barriers. You look at these barriers and you say, I would never be able to do that. When I used to do hair, I was a hairdresser. I loved hair. I loved it. And I said, ooh, when the salon closed down that I worked at, I was thinking, there's no way. Maybe I'll go and try to save somebody's life. Maybe I'll, do nursing or something like that. That was more my speed. I was thinking. And then I said, well, but I do like tech. I like computers. I like chat rooms and things like that. And those are fun. I like video games. But I wasn't thinking, maybe I could actually help somebody. And that was my number one thing for me, was to be able to help other people. And with what I do right now, I am able to help other people. So when you go through and you start looking at, excuse me.
There you go. You can get your water there. We're
Thank
good.
you.
So on the mic, Mike Tish Talks Tech here with us. She is here dropping nuggets of knowledge on us. What I try and do is figure out, your thing.
Yeah.
So hair was your thing.
Hair was my thing.
And then something.
And then the salon closed down. I retrained. But my number one thing was, how can I still help folks? When you decide that you're going to learn technology, first, there's beauty in the basics. Let me be very, very clear. You have to learn basic things like, how do you turn on a computer? What's the OSI model? How do computers work? That's the very first thing. Learn that. Don't just go and be like, oh, I'm going to, just jump headstrong straight into cybersecurity. You can do that. That's great, but it's going to come along. First, find out, how does a computer work? Does it have to be plugged in?
I've been there.
Okay.
I've been there. I was that person.
Is the computer on?
Yes. Yes, and yes, I've been asked that question.
Right.
You'd be surprised how many times a person will say, no,
it's not.
It's not plugged in.
Is it plugged in? So learn that piece first, and it will liberate you, trust me. And then after you get that part, it's only going to take you a few weeks, believe me. Once you learn that, then there's other things that you can learn, because you're going to start going down a rabbit hole. And then what I did is I started learning more and more and more about technology. So I started this contest called Master the Mainframe, which is now called Z Explorer. It's sponsored by IBM. Literally saved my life, because I started in on it. The first time I tried it, didn't work well. Second time I tried it, it was okay, because I kind of felt a little more confident, right? Third time, whoa, I did really, really well. Got all of the badges, learned a whole bunch, even got into this internship type of deal, landed myself a job, a job.
Out of something that you had no idea before.
No idea. So back to, breaking down barriers and seeing the horizon. So instead of trying to crawl over the mountain, just go ahead and look at it and then look over it. Break down the barrier. In the STEM field, there's a lot of things that you can do. You don't have to be the #1 coder. Sometimes you just have to know what the code is supposed to look like. That in and of itself is a whole job. If you can read a dump, you could literally liberate yourself. Some people go from making $15 an hour, flipping burgers, doing whatever they're doing, to making $60,000 in a matter of 20 weeks. You would be surprised what you can do with yourself if you sat down and applied yourself to a program of any sort in tech, especially when it comes down to mainframe.
When you see a person, they have no idea what that. They think that it's a long road.
No.
Let's talk about when you see the light come on in somebody and they get it. Because that's important. Because you're a role model to people, because people don't know what, okay, I don't know, and they see you doing it.
Yeah.
And you're talking tech. Let's talk about when you see that light come on in people, that this starts to make sense for me.
Yeah, so I was very fortunate enough. Last year, I was able to teach a cohort with my mentor, Dr. Cameron Say, out of North Carolina. Excuse me. And I was able to teach, and all I had to teach was how to learn, which was really amazing. So, and some mainframe fundamentals like JCL, some how to navigate ISPF.
Excuse me, ma'am. What are those things?
So job control language, basically, and like how to write a job card, how to send directions to. That's a whole nother show.
That's a whole nother show. And that's for a bunch of smart people.
No. You stop that. That's not for a whole bunch of smart people. What it's for is, it's a list of directions to give your program. And that's not for a bunch of smart people. That is for the program. And it's for us to give the program. And we are the people that are programming. That's what we are doing. And we are the smart ones.
Gotcha. Okay, so when you look up and you see a number of women, younger girls in there right now, because a lot of times this does cut down the barrier of...
It does.
Of that.
And it clears the smoke. And it lets you be able to see.
Because people can't necessarily hold it against you.
They can't.
And on top, another part with this one, it opens the world up for you for job opportunities.
Absolutely.
You don't need to be right there.
You don't.
And that's something the world wasn't always like that.
No, you can work from anywhere now. A lot of times, and now, okay, so if you're new to tech, like I'm new, okay, but I've utilized what I have to get the things that I need in order to achieve my goals. But mind you, I'm no spring chicken, so I know how to navigate my landscape. But with that being said, for the newer ones that are coming in, you must have tools, and you must be able to utilize the tools that are given. There's so many free tools out here. There are free tools. There are companies that are outside right now that are saying, here you are. Would you like to learn something? We are going to give it to you for free. Please take it and learn it at your leisure. Literally.
And people
will come into my DM on a daily. My emails, I get hundreds of emails a day.
Is that why you use that Gmail account to filter out the foolishness?
I do.
Because there's going to be a lot of...
I get hundreds of emails. And then with my LinkedIn, I get a lot of DMs all the time. And people are like, well, where do I start? Where do I start? And I say, okay, so you want a mainframe job or you want a tech job. Let's start with Z Explorer. Z Explorer is free. It uses VS Code. You can do it. They go through Python and COBOL and it allows for you a little assembler, a little this, little that. It's gamified. You can do everything that you need to do. You can stay at the table and let it go. And it also gives you badges. Guess what? If I'm an employer, let's just say, and I decided to take a look at everybody on LinkedIn that was looking for a job, and you actually had a badge issued by IBM, and you took the time out of your busy schedule to show that you learned something on your own and nobody paid you to do it, do you know how much that weighs?
It does. It does. And we just had Lori Jennings in here, so Jennings Pro Search.
Absolutely.
And she's talking about the number of people who are looking for a job. It wasn't, so for people not in the tech world, we thought, it was still, okay, we knew there were layoffs, but it wasn't that long ago when techies were just balling out of control.
For sure.
And so when I asked her before, she had said, we've seen this cycle before.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's for a person who's been in the business for a while. You're somebody new. You came in balling. You didn't know that on the other side of this, there might be some hard times.
Yeah.
So for a person who's good, what are some of the areas that you would say that are strong to go ahead and you really need to hone in on these skills?
You must, 100%, you have to lab every day. You have to have something in your computer, in your home lab. That does not mean to go out and get routers and switches and spend all your money. No, that does not mean that. You can get that stuff virtualized. There are many clusters that you can spin up if that's what you want to do. Also, they are free. First thing. Second thing, YouTube is your friend. You can sit up and get on YouTube and watch as many videos as you possibly can to your heart's content. IBM has a great page. Rocket Software has a great page. Interskill Learning has a great page. Who else? Tons of resources. BMC has a great page. I would just say, you have to go and find your place in tech. You have to find your space. There are even things that are tech adjacent. Like I said before, you do not have to be a 10x coder. You can go through, if your jam is organization, do you know how many code teams would love to have somebody that could just help them to think and organize their structure? Okay? Think about that. It's like it's a whole thing.
So it allows you to create your own lane.
If you can take the time to just be you, tech has a space for you. There is room for you on the mainframe.
There's room for. Okay, what was the birthplace for Tish Talks Tech?
Tish Talks Tech has been in the works for a while, but I did not really love it and show it care until I became an IDM champion, because I was thinking,
oh, you became a champion. Okay, so I don't,
what?
What?
The champ is here! The champ is here! The champ is here!
Okay, so there is a value in being a champion.
It is.
It's street cred?
Pardon?
It is street cred?
It is more than street cred. It is probably one of the biggest honors that I have had. So the year before, in 2022, I got Tech Channel Rising Star, and I didn't even realize that I was the Rising Star. I was like, oh, I thought I was interviewing for it. I thought I was nominated, and I said, oh, okay, wow, Tech Channel? And because that's like a really big deal, okay? And the people that also got Tech Channel Rising Star was like, people that won Call for Code. Like, these are people that are like Lucas Jacks and Amit Sharma, and people that like were making changes in the environment, like in how the earth spins. Okay. And I said, Lil, me? And so it was something.
So you were a rising star.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so now you look up. How do you feel when you're coming out being a rising star? You're feeling pretty good.
I was like,
You're
whoa.
like, whoa, okay, all right.
Whoa, that's amazing. And then, but I have to remember, like, what I was doing at the time is not easy. That is not easy. And I have to step back and I have to say, you know what a blessing, you know? So I said, yeah, this is kind of cool. And then next thing I know, I got my nomination, and Dr. Cameron Say and Jeffrey Decker and Gary Gwaltney and Reg Harbeck and a bunch of other people were just like, hey, you know what? Sherry Shara and all these folks were just like, hey, we really are amazed that you are this passionate about mainframe and how it affects other people. I said, no, you have no idea. This is me, like, all the time. All the time. When my mother got out of the military and she had to retrain, I can remember going to CTC in Killeen, little bitty Killeen, right there at Fort Hood.
Shout out to Hood.
Man, all roads lead to Hood.
All roads. It's
great place. Okay.
I don't know, a great place. It wasn't San Antonio.
Okay.
But there was some, Killeen, Texas, it was a big place. Life was, they soldiered there.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were doing some soldiering there.
Yeah.
So your mom got retrained there.
Yeah. And I can remember she was taking business at that time, and she was learning COBOL, and I can remember going to the computer lab on CTC and spending hours at the computer lab. I was probably 10 years old. I had my strawberry shortcake blanket at the computer lab, sleep as she was sitting in this loud computer lab and hearing the Doppler machine with this green and white paper and and I can remember that. And then all of these years later, look at...
Here you are now.
Here I am. And I can remember how my mother used to sit up and say things to us. And mind you, she's now retired from the IRS. But I can remember now asking her questions about COBOL. And she's like, girl, you don't know what that means. Okay, well, let me just try to explain it to you. And I'd be like, oh, I don't even want to know about that. And now all these years later, just knowing, oh, this is what this means. Oh, I have to put my punctuation at the end. Otherwise, it's not going to compile. Oh, I have to do, and so, and I don't even do that. And so now.
But you understand.
But I understand it. So, at the end of the day, this is all I'm saying. People sit up and they think that they can't do things because they don't know what they can't do. And it's hard. Don't do that.
The cyber world technology is so big. Yeah. It can get to be overwhelming, and a person thinks that, I got to do it all at once. But there are people who do certain things, like you said. The mainframe ideas, like, I have people in tech in here a lot.
Yeah.
I never heard anybody talk about the mainframe side of it. No.
Yeah.
People are talking, I think what I hear
it's like
a lot now.
It's super secret.
Yeah, like what I hear now is a lot of security. Mm-hmm. And I hear people talking networking. Mm-hmm. Those things. When somebody walks in, they look at the IT room and they look and see how it's wired up. They say, because when you look at a business, their IT room tells you the health of a business a lot of times. Mm-hmm. You're shaking your head like, yeah.
It will.
Yeah. If your wiring is raggedy, you might be having some issues.
Right.
You might have some issues.
Yeah.
So talk about right now. So what's next for Tish Talks Tech? That's a big thing. I mean, I see the engagement. So you are getting heavy hitters on this show, but these are people who are not in the world that regular Joes like me know about.
Possibly. The people that come on my show are people that have more than likely have touched your life.
And we don't know it.
And you don't even know
We have no clue.
You have no clue.
No, like you're saying, do you bank? Yes. Do you know how that... I remember the first time I learned how email worked.
Yeah.
It was just like, all we know is you write it up, you hit the button, it shows up on the other side.
Yeah.
We don't have an idea of how it got there. We don't know any of those things. So the people who are coming on your show, they are doing things that are affect our world, make life easier.
Yeah.
You know, all the things that the comforts that we have, they're the people who are connecting those dots.
Yes. Literally.
Connecting the dots. And the only thing we're thinking is, hey, it's done.
Yeah.
That's all we know, because we don't know. But there's some kid out there, some younger person, somebody who's making a career change.
Yep.
You're saying, hey, you don't have to, it's not something that's going to take you 5 years or 10 years. You can do something to change the course of your life right now.
You can do something that will literally boost your net worth over the weekend.
Wow.
I'm not excuse me, I'm not telling people that tech is easy. This is not easy. This is not easy. Let me be frank and very clear. This is not easy. But if you will apply yourself, it could literally change your life over a weekend. Just learning what hypertext means could change your life over a weekend. Just knowing that you
Okay,
could...
hold up, man.
Yeah.
Not that hypertext link thing.
Yeah, like just knowing what...
That was pretty cool. And I learned... Now, you know, I learned what that thing was. I'm like, well, that's pretty cool. And because it did... You know what? Okay, so I know you probably are not going to be impressed with this.
No,
but,
I love it.
Okay, so
Keep
here's
going.
one. When I saw and learned what the snippet tool was...
There you go.
I'm like...
Which version of Windows, though?
Maybe this was maybe 5 years ago.
Okay.
And the person, I'm like, really? When you find something so basic, it changes the course of how you do business.
It is.
So it's funny. So now, one of the great parts about having your own radio show, you're listening to On the Mic, Mike King, Tish Talks Tech is here with me. So I had a friend of mine, Vida Williams, is a data scientist. Coolest data scientist I know. But she was the only one I didn't know what the heck that was. So she's talking to me a bunch of technical stuff, and she looks at me and goes, Mike, are you still with me? I'm like, no. I'm back there. At the time, this is 2018, 2019, we're talking about tracking people and what that does in data science. And I'm like, people are scared of that because Big Brother's watching, you know, and all those things.
Oh, there's ways around that, but go ahead.
Fast forward through the pandemic. What are we asking now? Please track us because we want to know, and the science has been there. Mm-hmm. We don't know the parts of science, like you're saying. Even I had Dr. Wynn on from the Massey Cancer Center. I'm like, excuse me, how did you guys come up with this thing for COVID overnight, seeming like? But we still can't find the cure to cancer and all those things. He said, Mike, from a tech side, remember bird flu and swine flu, those things? He goes, this is a variation of it. It's right there. So we just went back into the lab and here we go. We modified it a bit and we came out with it. Mm-hmm. He said we probably need to be better with the understanding, like I guess letting people know what we're working on. We don't know what you guys are doing in the lab.
Right.
To make things happen from the tech standpoint. We're just like, oh, wow, this new thing, cards try themselves? Oh, wow. Or, I was here a couple weeks ago. I'm much smarter. The lady came in and told me what Chat GPT was. I'm like, ma'am, explain to us. We hear it's out there. We're here, it's scared. The computers are going to take over the world. Vida Williams said, no, we're always going to need a human. We're going to need humans to whether it's program them to be that side of the empathy part that the computer does not know how to do, doesn't know how to work with. I'm like, because me as a layperson, computers are going to take over the world. They're going to be walking down the street. They're just going to take over.
They're going to be walking down the street?
You've seen them? You've seen that computerized dog. You didn't know you were coming. This is not your kind of talk text. No,
I love this, though.
This is not. This is a little bit more. Yours is educational and freewheeling.
No, I love this.
Well, yeah, you're going to tell me you never seen that dog?
I've seen, but guess what? That dog is programmable.
Somebody had to do it.
Certainly did.
Somebody had to do it. And there's a young boy, young girl somewhere who's finding that interesting. All righty, I got you here now. One of the great parts, I can ask all the...
You can ask me
all the questions.
Yes.
Okay. What do you think about everybody's always playing the video games? The parents are telling their kids, get off the video games. What can be learned from playing video games? Or do we really need to learn what comes from how to program that side of it?
Well, if you have somebody at your house that's playing that video game, get that person a Raspberry Pi and tell them to program a game.
The Raspberry Pi back in the day used to be this little...
Yep.
Okay. I remember I used to be at a place, because that was as a service, SaaS. Okay, explain to our listeners what Raspberry Pi is.
So it's a little computer, basically, and you can just Google it. You can get it on Amazon, or Radio Shack isn't in business anymore.
I know,
is it?
Yeah.
Sorry.
That used to be the place.
It used to be.
Especially Christmas gifts. Yeah. They would have to walk in, the computerized dog.
Right.
Okay, but
yeah.
I'm sorry.
Or, no. See, now I'm telling my age, right? So, but yeah, you can just go get a Raspberry Pi, or you can get, there's other tools that are like it, and you can program it, and you can make it do what you want it to do. And so if you have somebody at your house that loves to game, ask them to program their own stuff. And if they like to do that, there's other softwares that you can mimic that game that they like to play, and you can actually program skins for the game. Now it might cost you, but you can do those types of things.
I don't know what we're paying for, but I know we're paying for some Roblox skins. Y'all don't even know what that is, but yeah.
Yeah, so like if they have a weapon, or if the character has clothes, make them program it themselves.
You were a gamer?
No, but
you know your way around?
I don't know my way around, but I know I have friends that do that, and my daughter streams. Mm-hmm. So she does that, and that was our way of having her to...
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
So on the mic, Tish Talks Tech is here. So I was at with Bryant and Stratton, they have a lab, esports lab. And so with
Very
that
nice.
one, yeah, so we went down and we went to a store, a tech store. People in there buying games, selling games, doing all these things, all kind of technology. There's a younger woman in there. So I asked her, how often do guys come in here and want to check your street cred? She goes, they'll walk right by me and go one of the guys.
Yep.
And so I said to her, do people want to challenge your street cred? And I asked you this a little while ago. And she told me, yes, they do. And I asked her, what's the look like when they realize that they went to the wrong person? And she goes, they kind of look a little sheepish. They look like I shouldn't have. Are we still at a place where people will want to check your credentials to understand what you know? Is that still a thing in our world? I know. What am I going to ask? I'm trying to be like a real interviewer. That's what I think that one of the real interviewers would ask, knowing the answer.
So, unfortunately, sometimes some individuals will question, and sometimes people don't know who I am. And now it's gotten a little bit better because people recognize me. Like the individual today, I think I know you from somewhere.
Thinking that guy.
So
technology does work.
Technology does work. And I get recognized a lot now, so it's kind of funny. But when, like at conferences and things, my very first conference, I had someone say, "Oh, is that the hairdresser?" Well, if I needed a haircut, I know who to go to. That almost tore me apart. But you know what? It made me very strong because, yeah, I did do hair. I did hair for a very long time. Now I have made a pivot. I've made a career change. And now technology is kind of my jam. And within my technology focus, I also am very passionate about other people jumping in the technology train. And that's just kind of where I am. And I'm talking about all people. I don't care what type of place you come from or who you are. I'm passionate about people working.
So, when you're in the tech world, I remember back in the day we were talking about scope creep.
Yep.
And really comes down to how much is tied to it.
Yeah.
And a lot of times people are kind of like, well, you do this, will you do that a little bit more? Do you still see that in the tech world, or that people kind of realize, I need to handle and have my thing and kind of own and stay in my lane?
It just depends on your project. And if your project manager is good, you will not have scope creep.
Okay.
And for me, like, because I do a lot of side hustling. So for me, it's all about my time versus, no, it's all about my time.
So yours is straight up time management. I see you over here with the book.
Yeah, I always carry, everybody, even on my show, I always carry my pen and paper because it's all about time management. Now, like today, it's different, right? But it's all about time, and I have to know what I have time for because my time is my money. So, yeah, it all boils down to that.
Then we're going down the road with time and money. How do you know which jobs, which opportunities to take and which ones to pass up?
It depends on the skill set, and it depends on if it's worth it.
Okay. Here's another one. See, these are rapid fire. This one happens, you think it.
At Jani King, we get it. You need a reliable cleaning partner you can trust. With Jani King, you're partnering with local business owners backed by over 55 years of expertise. Call or visit JaniKing.com today.
Today's event, The Price of Success, was an iconic event. If you're a woman business owner and you missed it, you missed a fabulous event. Today, we were able to learn, love, and share on other women who've been through the same journeys that we've been through as CEOs. But most of all, we were able to discover who we are and why we started this journey of being a CEO and entrepreneurship.
What kind of person was Lou Alcindor back in those days?
He was sort of a withdrawn person, especially if he didn't know you. But the icebreaker for he and I was that most New Yorkers who didn't play big time college ball, most of them came to the South to play. So he and I knew the same. He knew a lot of guys that played it at historically Black schools.
Okay.
And that was the icebreaker with he and I. And then I think going through rookie camp, and he saw that I could play. And, game identifies, recognizes game.
Yes, we do.
And so he saw that, hey, this kid here can play. And pretty soon they stopped joking me about being from Norfolk State because I was playing well. But Kareem and I, we didn't hang out together, but we just had a mutual respect for each other as teammates.
So let me ask you, so now the Big O comes to town. What's it like when he comes in? What do you pick up from Oscar Robertson?
Just sheer excitement about playing with the Big O, a class guy who expected perfection all the time. Some of his best performances were probably in practices. He just led us, directed us, I mean, how can a young team not be excited about the big O?
For sure. So when people look now, people are my age, I'm 61. When you see Russell Westbrook and playing at that, when you start talking about averaging a triple-double, a few years ago, that was unheard of.
Yeah.
Unheard of. And then people start to say, hey, there was this guy named Oscar Robertson who was doing stuff like that when NBA wasn't on TV all the time. You just heard the legend of people like that. So let's talk about winning the championship. What was that like for the guy from Norfolk State and Richmond?
Well, I was used to winning at Norfolk State. I mean, so winning for me was nothing new, and really it took me about 4 or 5 years to realize the significance of winning an NBA championship. Because I said, okay, well, I've won the CIAA. I'm used to being in the CIAA finals. 3 years later, when I realized that even some of the great superstars, Elgin Baylor, Wilt Chamberlain, Jerry West, none of them at the time had won a championship. And so it was pretty well acknowledged that you may play in this league and be a great individual player, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to win a championship, because in the early years, Boston or the 76ers dominated everything.
Let me ask you a question with that right there. When you play a team sport and you don't win, how does that bother a person, or I guess taint your legacy? Because you hear the whole Shaq and Barkley argument, or you were great at what you did, but you were on a team that maybe never had the right team around you. How does that affect you?
Well, just from a joking stand.
Oh, you're getting killed. You're getting killed straight up.
You're getting killed straight up, and the worst killing comes from your homeboys.
Of course, because they know it bothers you.
But you know always in the back of your mind when the great ones get together, maybe it's a retired players association. No matter how great you are, guys begin to talk after their playing careers are over about how many championships did you win? And they will throw that out on the floor just to be critical of somebody that has had great individual statistics. But the ultimate in a career is winning that championship. And I know guys who have had great individual careers, but not winning that championship still haunts them.
That's true. So being from Philly, it's not like we win a bunch of championships. And there are people in Philly that we love. Barkley never really got the love in Philadelphia that a lot of people thought. That he was good, but then when he left, it was okay. There's 3 people. I'm in Richmond, Virginia now. On the mic with Mike. We're here. We're talking to Bobby Dandridge here, Hall of Famer, here talking about sports, life, and everything in between. I talk about Richmond. I talk about Virginia. There's 3 guys who come to mind when you talk about Philadelphia: Iverson, Moses. When you talk about those 2 guys right there, that just says something about Philadelphia. There's a love that people in Philly have, and Michael Vick. We, as Philadelphia sports fans, because they gave it all, we can't judge people by championships because we never win enough of them. We judge you by hard work and being one of our guys, one of the hard workers. You came and brought it every day that you were there. And then if you didn't win, hey, you know what? You're one of our guys. So forever and ever, those 3 will be Philadelphia icons. Moses came and delivered. That's for sure. Michael Vick, he delivered. He delivered some. When we beat Washington, that was enough right there. We didn't care what he did. The humiliation that he put on Washington made life worthwhile. And Iverson, what can we say about him in our town, which is something, he just set the whole town on fire. Really quick, let me ask you about the idea of championship teams being put together.
One thing, and your adopted son in Philly is a guy named Hal Greer.
Hal Greer, yes, for sure. The original number 3.
Hal Greer's wife is from Richmond.
Oh, really?
Yes, Mamie Cannon, and her mother, Mrs. Cannon, her mother and father taught in the Richmond public school system. So Hal Greer, and I'll tell you a quick story. I was sort of mischievous in high school. and Mrs. Cannon told me at the beginning of the school, said, Bob, if you just give us a break for 2 or 3 days in class, I got a surprise for you. Well, on the 3rd day, who comes into the class at the end of school but Hal Greer?
Philadelphia legend.
And nobody else in the school knew who he. I had the opportunity on me because most days at the end of the practice, he would want to get up 100 shots. On 3 days, he never missed any more than 3 jump shots out of 100. And that profoundly affected me because that let me know what I had to do to make it into the NBA. So Hal Greer is an adopted Richmonder.
I tell you what, that's Philadelphia royalty for basketball.
That's
he was
right.
he was a classy, the classy player with that one. All right, let's talk about the call from the hall. What's that like? That Bobby Dandridge going to the Hall of Fame.
Well, I knew the vote was coming up soon, and one day I missed the call and I looked at it and it may have been 217 or 417, and I said, I don't know who this is, so I went and looked it up and come to find out it was Springfield, Mass.
You know what they're talking then.
And I'm saying,
it can't be
this thing. And so of course I kept the phone with me for the next couple of hours, and sooner or later the call came and I was speechless. Because along with the call came instructions that this has not been announced to the press and you must not tell anybody.
And you ready to explode.
So I'm in the barbershop one day and the fellas in there talking trash and I got to keep my mouth closed.
It was hard. You got something, you got the ultimate jacket, the jacket saying, I'm going to be in there with the greats. And here you got to take it in the barbershop, which is hard.
Yeah, I got to take it in the barbershop. And so the first, so I just had to tell my wife because, my wife is hard on anybody that's in the Hall of Fame, and I'm not in the Hall of Fame.
She said, my Bobby should be in the Hall of Fame. One second, you said, hey, baby, check this out.
Right.
I got this call.
So we watching the game one night and she hard on somebody. So I said, look, let me tell you something. And when I told her, she, tears just started coming down her eyes. My 45, my daughter Shayna, who lives in Richmond, she was excited, but I couldn't tell her because she's a Facebook junkie.
Oh, so, and the word would have hit the street immediately. Look what my daddy did. My daddy in the Hall of Fame. and the word is out.
Yeah, the word. Now they ready to put me out of the hall before I got there.
Ladies and gentlemen, we were going to have Bobby Dandridge here, but he couldn't keep a secret.
But it was just humbling And it sort of makes you reflect back on the village of people that have made this possible, and some of them didn't have nothing to do with basketball, and I tell people that it's going to be at least 100 people up on that stage with their hands on the ring and 100 people wearing the jacket, because I just bring with me to the celebration so many people who have played an intricate part in my life. And that becomes humbling, when I think back to the Hal Greer story, just how many times would a 16 or 15-year-old get a chance to work out with a guy like Hal Greer, to play against pros in Washington, D.C., and to have the type of parent that
they were hard, but they put you on the right path. Let me ask you, when you see young people today, what's a bit of advice when you see the young folks going, chasing dreams? You had a dream and the dream came true.
Be coachable. Be coachable, because
I'm Farrah Massenburg, President of Inclusive Infrastructure Solutions. Remember, make it a great day, because you are perfectly made.
Great day, great day, great day, everyone. I am Farrah Massenburg, and I am President of Inclusive Infrastructure Solutions. We have a lot to celebrate. We have a short amount of time to talk about networking, influencing, intentionality, contracts, contacts, contracts to contacts, contacts to contracts, being ready, staying ready. And what is it today? It's Cinco de Mayo.
Cinco de Mayo.
Oh, yeah. We're going to get some margaritas.
Let's do it.
Yeah. I drink water readers.
Water readers.
Yes, water readers. Yes, indeed. So today I have a wonderful guest, and this month it is really, well, this week particularly, it is the U.S. Small Business Administration is celebrating National Small Business Week. So yes, it starts May 3rd and it runs until May 9th. And so what the U.S. Small Business Administration. I'm so used to doing acronyms. That's what I'm like, so SBA, I like doing my acronyms. So, which acknowledges the critical contributions of America's entrepreneurs and small business owners. National Small Business Week 2026 is taking place May 3rd to May 9th, and SBA, I love the acronym, will officially recognize their hard work of all the small businesses, their dedication, their contributions to the economy. So congratulations to you if you are a small business.
Small business.
I am small business, I'm micro, DBE, SWIM certified, and here everybody knows one of my team and partners, but I'm gonna let him introduce himself because it is National Small Business Week.
Well, thank you so much for having me on the show today. My name is IraJ Brown. I'm the proud founder and president of Culture Fit Talent here local in Richmond, Virginia. Small business here. So honored to be on the show today.
I am honored to have you.
Well, thank you.
And can you also give them some wonderful news and what you're an honoree of?
Yes, the 2026 Black Men of Color for Virginia.
Yes, congratulations.
Thank you. What an honor.
It is so well deserved.
Thank you.
And so it's a lot of different things coming up.
Absolutely.
I know it's National Small Business Week. We talk a lot about networking. We talk a lot about contacts to contracts and just being intentional. And I always talk a lot about teaming.
Absolutely.
We have teamed together on quite a bit of new and past pursuits. And sometimes we don't get them, but sometimes we do.
Right.
Sometimes they are workshops or they're leadership development, or it could be industry related, but just the networking aspect, it just fits all industries.
Yeah,
so what are some things that you have coming up, or just some things that you would like to discuss with the Culture Fit Talent is involved with?
Yeah, definitely. So I think just with Culture Fit Talent, what we have coming up, of course, I have the 2026 Black Men of Color coming up here in June 12th. Super excited about that at the Hippodrome Theater.
Yes.
And then, of course, always seeking businesses to, you know, let us be your support in the community to grow your talent pipeline and build you out some hiring systems here in Richmond, Virginia, recruiting some great talent.
I am so excited.
Yes,
I'm
absolutely.
so excited. I will be there. I will be there just hollering and you know, cheering you on.
Absolutely, yes.
And it's also a great way to network too.
Absolutely, great way.
You have
Great way.
a wonderful, I went to the 100 Women of Color in October of last year, and it was wonderful, absolutely phenomenal. And I'm all about inclusivity and intentionality. Ooh. So this month we're also celebrating Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month. So there is an event that will be taking place on May 19th at the Hampton Inn and Suites, Richmond downtown. It's a great way for you to network. So it is just a super great thing for you to do. And then when you focus on intentionality, inclusivity, it is a great way for you to have real talk, alignment. You never know who you're going to contact. And the Pivot Symposium.
Yeah, Pivot.
Yes, so the Pivot Symposium Learning Series, it is a workshop that is put together by the Office of Minority Business Development, the City of Richmond. And there are some workshops that have already taken place, but I will put this in the link. I know we have the May 7th, and that is Prepare Competitive Proposals, and May 14th, Use AI to Grow Your Business. We hear a lot about AI.
Yeah,
so can you just kind of give me what you think about AI? And it's a lot of misconceptions. You have some people that like it, but you have to understand it, correct?
Absolutely, yeah, definitely understanding AI to your advantage. You know, I think about it myself. I use AI to save me time so that way I can focus on other priorities, almost like buying back my time. And I think that it's a great software to utilize. Minus those who are scared of the personal information, but you know, you got to take risks, right?
Yeah.
So I love the program. I think that it's great in business to utilize to get you some time back so you can focus on other priorities.
And can use it, especially if you're a solopreneur,
Yeah,
and if
absolutely.
you are at home or if you're working out of a shared space. There are ways when it comes to using AI, you can just make sure you fact check, because you're the subject matter expert. So you're using AI as a tool.
Yeah.
And I look at Google. If you go into the internet, it's just a slower AI.
Yep.
And so right now, because they're taking all that information from what I understand, I've been reading just because I know in the construction world, technology is growing. Everybody is using AI to a certain extent. So if you want to know more about using AI to grow your business, attend the Pivot Symposium series. That is May 14th. And then May 21st, Sell to the Government. And then also May 20th, Protect Your Business Insurance Best Practices. So these will be held at the Virginia Union University in the Ellison Hall Wall Auditorium at 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. It's a lot of things happening. And then we have the Women in Wellness Luncheon, which is June 23rd, VCU Massey. I am the chair of the Women in Wellness Luncheon. I am super honored. I am a breast cancer conqueror, for those that do not know. I have been in construction compliance for 25 years. So I had to integrate my treatment while I was working full time. So I understand. And then also I had a newfound of various lipsticks, because when you lose all your hair, you find ways to make sure that you are just unique. So I used that, but I did work full time, and I had a great support, my husband, my nephews and family, just making sure that that I was able to succeed. And so now I'm on this journey of having my own business, and it's very exciting, and I'm all about the village mindset. It takes a village. So we talk a lot about team tiering or tier teaming. However you word or phrase it, it is a way that you can team and you can maximize a particular scope, and you can build your past performance, you can increase your bonding capacity. So if you would like to know more about that, you can definitely reach out to me, and you can reach out to IraJ as well. So there are so many different opportunities out here. Like I said, this is National Small Business Week.
National Small Business Week, y'all.
Yes.
Celebrate.
It's a lot going on. It's so many different things. If I really wanted to talk about all the different events, I would be here all day. But I do want to shout out the RED Academy, and that's an acronym for Real Estate Developers Academy, which is an initiative that was launched by the Norfolk Redevelopment and Housing Authority in partnership with the Newport News Redevelopment and Housing Authority. So the program identifies and trains developers to increase the availability, scope, and scale of housing in Hampton Roads. So if you want to know more about that and just follow the fellows, you can go to @RED, and that's R.E.D. Academy, @RED Academy. So you will find more information. One of my teaming partners is one of the fellows, Jawanda Carter, Prosphere Building Solutions, and she is located in Hampton Roads, a Class A general contractor. And just having those particular teaming partners, it just signifies the trust, and it increases your chance of even winning a contract. And then you can carve out your lane and you can go after a larger portion of a particular project. Or when you just put it together in a certain way, there you can joint venture as a prime, or either you have the ability to prime and then you're bringing a team with you that just is going to make that proposal a lot stronger. So I know we talked about proposal writing. So the Pivot Symposium is going to have their competitive proposal class. And like I said, that's May 7th. And so that's for anybody, whether you're in construction, whether you're in leadership, whether you're in talent recruitment, hospitality. I would say definitely look into that and it's free.
Right, can't beat that.
Oh, I don't want to beat that.
I know, that's right.
I like free 99. And I did have the pleasure of being a panelist at the Virginia Port Authority's 7th annual SWAM event. That was April 30th. I had a great time. So that was absolutely wonderful. It was a way to just have networking in a strategic manner where you had various resources and opportunities to just talk about how you could strengthen your partnership. We could talk about that all day.
Absolutely.
So, and another thing, you always heard me talk about Swam Fest.
Yes.
It is coming back
It's
this
coming.
year.
It's coming. You ready?
So Swam Fest is coming back this year. So save the date for October 14th, 2026. And that is brought to you by VASCUP. That's another acronym, which stands for Virginia Association of State College and University Purchasing Professionals. Can you say that fast?
University.
Yes. But yes, indeed. So check out Swam Fest, follow it, you can look up Swam Fest, Swam, SW, lowercase a, capital M Fest, and you will learn a lot of information about that. It's a huge event. I know people have really been anticipating that. I have learned a lot. I have been attending Swam Fest since 2005.
Wow, that's awesome.
So yes, it's a long-standing event. And I know some people it's different. Some people look at networking in various ways. When you are networking, what are things that you're looking for your business? What are you looking for when you're networking?
I think it's just to build community and trust with one another. Get to know who else is out there in your market, and see how can you connect others with other people to teaming opportunities.
Yes, and it's so because when you have the teaming, when you say you get a business card, what do you do after you? Do you just like, oh, let me just stack them up here with the rest of the business card?
Right.
So what is a good strategy once you get that business card?
Yeah, I think, take a picture of it for sure. As we all know, we're busy balancers and, things happen, especially once things hit the laundry. So take a picture of it. And then also send a follow-up email, a great thank you. Hey, great connecting today. Look forward to chatting. Maybe follow up with that person in person over coffee or maybe a walk. And go from there, see where that connection continues.
It's a nice time for walks, except for the pollen.
Except for the pollen.
It has been getting me.
Oh,
so
my
I have a little pollen voice today. But sometimes I like it.
Pollen is not my friend.
Not the pollen, but the
pollen voice.
The raspy voice, yes.
The seasonal.
Yes, I do like it. It comes. But definitely, so when you are networking, I definitely would tell you, research who is going to be there. It may be a panel style, it may be a breakout session style, but definitely research. Take your capability statement, tailor it. Now you can have a capability statement whether you're hospitality. I know it's a big document to have in the construction world. Basically, it is a resume of your business, your capabilities, your differentiators, your mission, your vision, your commodity codes, and sometimes it has your past performance on there. So definitely research who will be there and how your product or your service can connect to that particular company or person that you're either interested in working with or you would like to know more about. So definitely research. And another thing, I know we've talked about teaming and tier teaming when it comes to what is the next step for culture fit?
Well, I think the next step for culture fit is expanding, into other areas as well, other industries, such as commercial cleaning. And so I think that's what's going to be next for culture fit.
Oh, okay. So what made you think about cleaning? Now it's across, in construction, residential, commercial, and so what made you do that?
Yeah, I think the thoroughness coming from the restaurant industry and having high standards for cleanliness, and also being able to lead people in the front line who's being able to do that work. I'm a big believer in a leader being able to relate with their frontline staff, and so I would be able to relate with those individuals who's doing that work.
Yeah, what did they say? Cleanliness is next to godliness. Because I noticed the difference when I'm not, or my desk at home is not organized.
Yeah.
I know you've always talked to me about getting out. Either I'm not at an event or working outside my home. So those are things I started to venture out, whether it's attending coffee shops. And so this week, since it is Small Business Week, or National Small Business Week, then I think that's what we should do. Just attend a couple of businesses, small, just support, and just talk about different areas of how we can expand. So it's just different. I love expansion. I love it, creating divisions, and it's when it comes to inclusive infrastructure solutions, we do talk about expansion, and I am very strategic when it comes to that. So I identify different teaming partners, whether on different levels, whether it's a $30,000 contract, whether it's a $300,000 or a $35 million contract. So having those teams and being able to carve out and to create a team and to bring that team on and extend that supply chain is really great. So when you build those relationships and you have that trust, those are key. So what are some things and some points, just some takeaways for today in honor of National Small Business Week?
Yeah, I think get out there, connect, right? We have some opportunities for you to help support your business and its growth. A couple events coming up that you can attend as well. But then also go out there and network. Go try and meet somebody new. Take that card, follow up, and be intentional.
Yes, definitely. I try to meet 2 new people every day. They say 3, but if I get 3, then I hit my goal.
Right.
But I hit 2 new people a day. And some people say that is a lot. But if you are constantly networking, and then you can utilize LinkedIn, social media, and just send them hello note. Send them, this is my capability note, or just like you said, coffee. I would like to have a lunch meeting, or just coffee, or a nice walk in the pollen.
Right, nice walk in the pollen, yes.
and just having just those intentional. Yeah. So words that we're definitely, I like takeaways when we're going to talk about early. So network early, network intentional, alignment, positioning, readiness, and those will help you when you need to make those particular and those hard decisions, and understand who is in the room and how you can connect with them in the room, and just make sure that you put your name in the forefront. Don't get left out. Be intentional, be courageous, and any last point?
Do the darn thing.
Oh, all right. Do the darn thing, you say. Yes. So I am Farrah Massenburg, President of Inclusive Infrastructure Solutions, and I want to say thank you to my special guest, IraJ Brown, President and Founder of Culture Fit Talent. And will you be joining us again?
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
Can't wait.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a great day. And remember, you are perfectly made.
Perfect.
I ain't many that are built like me. I'm the last of my kind. Grew up on the back road, baby. I know how to survive. Being out with the young guns blazing, so you better not try. You'll never find another like me. I'm the last of my kind. Yeah, yeah, yeah.